getting the facts right. This is WCTI News Channel 12 at 5.
Breaking news, the desperate search for this little girl. Mariah Woods is 3 years old. Here's another picture of her. Investigators learned she was missing at 6 o'clock this morning. They say she was last seen when her mother put her to bed last night. With each passing hour, a woman who considers herself like a grandmother to the girl grows more worried.
I don't believe she would go out by herself, especially in the dark.
This is a huge search from law enforcement to the military to firefighters. And helicopters helped during the search all day long. Many of you contacted us on Facebook asking for ways that you can help.
Last few minutes tonight, we've learned that the FBI is now involved in this case. Onslow County Sheriff Hans Miller would not explain why late this afternoon. We do know the search started about 6 o'clock this morning. The state put out an Amber Alert for the girl just after 11 o'clock this morning. News Channel 12's Mary Lee Moore has been covering the search all day. She has more now about little Mariah Woods.
Leaving no stone unturned, first responders searching by air and on the ground to find little Mariah Woods and bring her home.
I don't believe she would go out by herself, especially in the dark.
Ann Edwards says she's like a grandmother to the little girl.
She's a sweet child, but she's shy with strangers, so she wouldn't just go with a stranger.
A child who would struggle to get around on her own without the braces she wears.
She always starts out with her left foot, and she always throws it like this. And then she starts with this foot, but that foot always goes that way.
Ann Edwards now just one of many praying the little girl comes home safe and sound.
It's really tough because it's just like everybody says, I don't believe this could happen to me.
And so that's the latest on little Mariah. Now, investigators have asked people in that area to check their yards and their sheds tonight for any late evidence.
Let's give you a closer look at the area where they're searching. It's where these two red lines intersect. Now, this one here is Dawson's Cabin Road and Ernest King Road here. The immediate area around it has mostly mobile homes. It's an area west of Highway 17 as you're heading south out of Jacksonville.
So the Amber Alert continues, and we called the Highway Patrol today to find out exactly how an Amber Alert works. Michael Baker with the Highway Patrol says an Amber Alert starts when the specific agency issues a request. The State Highway Patrol then has somebody on call 24/7 to handle those requests, and that person on call must determine if the request meets the criteria for an Amber Alert. If so, they send it to the Missing Persons Center in Raleigh and tell the requesting agency to fill out a form and submit all the required information. Once that's submitted, it's looked over and an Amber Alert is issued. In today's case, once the completed form and information were submitted, it took about 30 minutes to issue the Amber Alert.
We're following every detail of the search for Mariah. We will bring you updates later in this newscast and throughout the evening. You can find videos and pictures of the search as well as pictures of her. It's all on our Facebook page, website, and mobile app.
I'm meteorologist Donnie Cox saying your Monday afternoon dry across eastern Carolinas. We scan the skies, nothing happening. You can see hard to find clouds out there as well. Just after sunset, those temperatures will start to fall. We are in the 50s right now, but overnight tonight, you are going to need the coat again, especially tomorrow morning at the school bus stop for the kids or as you head into work, because temperatures will be back into the mid-30s in most locations. Also, I'd like to remind you, if you head out here in the next couple of minutes from 5:40 until 5:45, you'll see an object just like that pass across the sky. That's the International Space Station. Be moving from the southwest to the northeast about midway between these two times, about 5:42 and a half. You will see the space station straight overhead. That's a good opportunity for you to get out and view that. I'll show you what to expect as we head through the rest of the weekend if the warm-up continues, coming up in just a couple minutes.
A town commissioner is arrested on assault charges twice in just 2 weeks. The latest charges include assault on a child under 12. John Curtis Jenkins Jr. had his first court appearance this morning. News Channel 12's Stephanie Brown is live in Pitt County with what this could mean for Jenkins' town commissioner seat.
It looks like the town of Chocowinity is leaving it up to the courts to decide what happens with Town Commissioner Kurt Jenkins. This morning, Jenkins learned he'll appear next in court December 13th. The town's attorney, Keith Mason, who didn't want to be on camera, says there's no state law that calls for Jenkins to be removed from the Board of Commissioners. Jenkins' most recent charges include assault by strangulation, assault on a child under 12, assault inflicting serious injury in the presence of a minor, and interference with emergency communications. Now, deputies arrested him at a home in Grimesland last Friday. And if Jenkins is convicted on the charge of assault by strangulation, which is a felony, any time he serves would make him ineligible to stay on the board. Now, Jenkins is currently being held at Pitt County Detention Center on a $45,000 bond. And we did reach out to town commissioners and the mayor of Chocowinity, but all declined to comment. Reporting live in Pitt County, Stephanie Brown for News Channel 12.
Alrighty, and John Jenkins Jr. was first charged with assault nearly 2 weeks ago. Investigators say he and his brother assaulted a 51-year-old man.
We're learning tonight about charges against a Pitt County teenager. Officers say 19-year-old Christopher Monroe is charged with intentional child abuse involving serious bodily injury. Monroe was booked on November 22nd. He faces a future court date. Investigators
are searching for the person who shot a woman in Terrell County. Detectives say they found Amanda Winger at a home on North Gumneck Road Saturday morning. She was shot once. Winger was transported to Washington County Hospital and later flown to Vidant Medical Center. The 26-year-old had surgery and was listed in serious condition. Deputies say there's no danger to the public.
The Coast Guard helped save an injured man stranded on his sailboat. The Wilmington office says it got word Sunday afternoon that a 46-foot boat was taking on water. That was about 13 miles east of Hatteras Inlet. A Coast Guard helicopter and lifeboat crews responded, and they found a man who had injured his arms while trying to repair his boat. The Coast Guard has not released the name or condition of the man who received first aid at the scene.
Investigators identify a man killed in a water purification plant explosion in Nash County Friday morning. The plant manager, 64-year-old Dale Allen Bachman, died. The explosion happened at the Penco Corp plant in Middlesex. An employee was driving by the explosion when it happened, or driving by that plant, and that's the person who called 911. No one else was injured.
Dozens of high school students went through some training today to help make life a little easier for their new peers. Let's go to the Craven County Public Schools, launching its ambassador program right here. It will connect current students with new students in the county to make navigating their way through the first couple of weeks a little easier. And the district hopes the ambassador program will be especially helpful considering the county has such a high military population.
A group wants your help filling seats at Spectrum Arena in Charlotte for the second annual Kinston Night. Kinston native Brandon Ingram was the #2 overall pick for the LA Lakers in the 2016 NBA draft. If you buy your ticket through Kinston Teens, you'll support the nonprofit and get a complete fan experience.
With these ticket purchases, you will be able to not only view the game, watch the game that starts at 7 o'clock, but you get pregame access, and at the pregame access you get a free t-shirt, you get to meet and greet the players, so it's a really big thing.
That game is Saturday, December 9th. So far, Kinston Teens has sold just more than 100 tickets, but hopes to increase sales in the next few days.
Hey, you out there, pay attention. Shoppers are burning up the internet tonight. Today's Cyber Monday totals could make this the busiest day ever for online shopping.
And get a load of this. An active volcano threat turns a tropical paradise into an evacuation site.
Now, a cold start in store for tomorrow morning, but I'll show you a warm-up that's on the way. And if any of these clouds for your Tuesday means rain for you, that's all coming up after the break.